Greetings everyone, I'm Fred Galvan Jr. and this is my second channel. Today I want to talk to you a little about a misconception about a small town just a little south of the Mexican border by the Rio Grande Valley. No, it's not Progreso, it's Nuevo Progreso, aka Las Flores. And I'm going to tell you all about it right after this. Welcome back, homies. So today I'm going to tell you the history of that wonderful little part of heaven by the Texas-Mexico border on the Mexican side, Nuevo Progreso. Now folks, it's not called Progreso. Progreso is a small town right north of the border of Nuevo Progreso, and also a town in Mexico, but in the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, for the most part, you're traveling to Nuevo Progreso from the stateside, you'll probably be driving through the town of Progreso, Texas. Now there is a gargantuan difference between the three places. The city of Progreso in Texas has very limited events occurring. Progreso in the Yucatan has gorgeous beaches and it's a tourist location. Nuevo Progreso, on the other hand, is still a tourist attraction, but a very popular medical tourism destination. What is medical tourism? Medical tourism is when people flock to another country to get medical attention. Also, the most popular one there is dentistry. People go there to see a dentist because you pay a fraction of the price as opposed to here in the States. Anyhow, I think I've gone a little too much on a tangent. Now, there is an infinite supply of alcohol. You can purchase your drinks off the street if you want. It kind of resembles a concession stand, or you can walk into any bar of your choice and drink it there. Heck, you can even walk down the streets with a cold alcoholic drink in your hand without the local police harassing you. Unlimited food, holy hell. The food there is amazing. From the taco trucks to some hole-in-the-wall restaurants, to high-end dining. The choice is all yours. Again, a huge difference between these three places. Much like Laredo, Texas, a city by the Mexican border, and right south of Laredo, as you cross the Rio Grande River, is the town of Nuevo Laredo. You're probably wondering why I keep bringing up the differences between these places, right? I get it. Well, unfortunately, there are some residents in South Texas that do not know the difference. They call Nuevo Progreso, Progreso. Hey man, tomorrow I'm going to Progreso to buy some medication and have a few drinks. Maybe you should go to Nuevo Progreso, don't you think? Yeah, there. Imagine having this conversation. Dude, I'm going to Mexico next month. No kidding, which part are you going? Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Cabo? Nah man, I'm going to Albuquerque. You know, the home of Walter White. There is a difference between Mexico and New Mexico, England and New England, Virginia, West Virginia. You get the idea. For the record, Nuevo Progreso is also called Las Flores by some of the locals, but I'll get into that in just a bit. Nuevo Progreso is part of the Rio Bravo municipality. In other words, it's kind of owned by Rio Bravo. In the past, Nuevo Progreso has tried to become its own entity, but Rio Bravo refuses to grant that. Why? Well, because they make a lot of money with the tourism there in Nuevo Progreso, much like Marcos and the Zapatistas with Chiapas trying to break away from Mexico, but Mexico makes too much money from their natural resources there. Or Texas, which some Texas reps want to secede from the US and become its own country. My very good friend, Raymond, a government major from UT in Austin, broke it down for me like this. Imagine gathering all of your ingredients to bake a cake. You get your sugar, your flour, eggs, butter, etc. You mix it all together, then you put it in the oven and you bake it. Now the cake comes out looking like a dream. and now you're ready to eat that bad boy. Well, now the flour decides it no longer wants to be a part of that cake. It's going to be difficult to remove the flour from the already baked cake, isn't it? Why do some people call Nuevo Progreso Las Flores? Well, no one is really 100% certain, but there are two strong possibilities why the name Las Flores has stuck. Flores has been known to be a last name, Latino last name, and it also means flowers when you translate it to English. The first reason is the Rio Grande River was not always at its current location. It was actually south of Nuevo Progreso by an area called Las Flores. Let me show you. Las Flores was not so much a rancho, but more of a rancheria. A rancheria is an area that contains multiple ranchitos. Translating to English, it was full of ranches. Now, the river, you see right here, this area? Well, it used to run right around here. Okay? Right around there. And what's right by there? See that right there? Is Las Flores. This area sits right by the Gulf of Mexico, which is constantly threatened by hurricanes. Well, what comes with hurricanes? Lots of rain. Well, the Rio Grande was plagued with these huge floods often. During one of these floods, the water carved its way through the US land, which right now north of Las Flores, which changed the course of the river to where it currently lies. The US couldn't do much about it, so they relinquished those 500 plus acres to Mexico. So the land right south of the border that was known as Las Flores was no longer Las Flores. Since the two areas that were still in the US right north of this specific area was what we now know as Progreso Lakes and the city of Progreso. Then Mexico names her newly acquired land from the States La Villa, Nuevo Progreso. So for short, it's just Nuevo Progreso. To prevent future catastrophic landslides and the shifting of the river, aka losing more land to Mexico, because there was more land lost to Mexico due to the river, like the town of Rio Rico. But that's a whole other different video for another time. To fix this problem, the US built Falcon Dam that controlled all the floods after that. The second reason some still call this location Las Flores is because from 1952 to 1979, the street back behind the main road in Nuevo Progreso was filled with cantinas and brothels. According to my good friend David Rice, in his book that's wonderfully written called Crazy Loco, he states the female employees would stand out very close to the street, right outside their door of their small rooms where business was handled. They stood there in beautiful dresses with flowery patterns. They stood there to attract new clients or clients passing by, if you will, in these flowery dresses. So as a joke, many of these recurring clients would speak amongst themselves saying in Spanish, "Vamos a ver las flores," because of their dresses. Translation, let's go and see the flowers. Make sense? Now, if you have not read Crazy Loco by David Rice, do yourself a favor and read it. Multiple stories that take place in the Rio Grande Valley. Fast read and very entertaining. Check it out, or check out the link on the bottom. Now, all these brothels was and still known as Boys Town to the locals. With the help of the Mexican government in late '79 and early 1980, the Red District was moved further south due to the overnight explosion of commerce by tourists at this time. Random fact, let's go. Hey guys, random fact. Now, I learned this from my very good friend, Dr. Rob Johnson. Teaches over at the university, or UTRGV. Great guy. Link to his books are at the bottom. Anyhow, if you all noticed, and in case you haven't noticed, try to notice, but when the Mexican culture, when they go to their dances or their bailes, and I'm not talking about the Tejano music or this polka stuff, no. Mexican music, not Spanish, Mexican music. When they have these little dances, these dances with little steps like this, and they kind of like, well, they're little steps. Well, that comes from a long, long time ago, because back in the day, when these Mexicans had their dances or their bailes back in their rancho, well, the dance floor, the pista, it wasn't paved. It wasn't concrete, it was nothing. It was solid dirt. I'm not sure if you guys have ever noticed, but when you're walking where there's a lot of dirt, the more movement there is, the higher the dust comes up, right? So that's why when they dance their small little steps, they wanna minimize the dust going up in the air, hence the little steps. If you didn't know, now you know. If you guys have additional information on this video or feel like I left some important information out, then let us know in the comments below. I mean, we firmly believe in constructive criticism, and more than anything, we want this channel to where we all learn from each other. If you have any suggestions or ideas on what we should, cover next, let us know in the comments below. Now, a special thanks to Maria Guzman Salinas, Ramon Mejia Jr., David Rice, Dr. Rob Johnson, and of course, Mom for helping me with the information for this video. See you next time.